Hey, Cortland, I wanted to leave you some feedback on Essay 1. Uh, Thank you. That's what I want to start with here. It was such a pleasure to see. Um, let me start here. Actually, uh, I liked this essay from the beginning. I felt like you were being really honest, right? Like you were really hitting at your truth, and it's something that I don't always see in first year writing students assignments. And I think that's because, well, I can't exactly say why. Sometimes I think it's because beginning writers are more worried about pleasing the instructor rather than aiming at truth. And while I know that you do want to get a good grade on this essay, right, I know that you're motivated by that, I also felt like you were able to balance that with hitting at some real truth. So I appreciate that. But why I started off with saying thank you is I greatly appreciate that you have incorporated the revision suggestions that I gave to you. I saw it in this sentence and I literally said yes out loud because you nailed it finally. This kind of fuzzy area was clear. And then the paragraphing changes that you made. I'm sorry if you hear my duck quacking in the background. She needs to lay an egg and she's not quite sure where to do that. So if you hear that, that's Joni, my duck. Your paragraphing is so much stronger, right? So one of the other things that I pointed out to you is like all these ideas are good, but I'm getting a little lost as your reader. I love this section here, and then this section here, this sentence, yes, you nailed it. This is such a good sentence now. So I am so pleased to see those changes. Not so much that you listen to me, but really in that I hope that you can see that your ideas are so much stronger, right? They're so much more clearer, let me say it that way, for the reader. There was something else that I wanted to talk to you. I love your description of Longview. That is so good. Not only the visual details, but how you talk about like the political structure as well. And I think that it hits, it kind of hints at some of the things that you were hinting about here with the stories that your grandparents used to tell you. Really good. Oh, and then this sentence, the way that you end this paragraph, that is like a punch in the gut, right? That's how strong that sentence is, the way that you end that. Good work. So let's just talk about a few editorial concerns here and there. Watch your repetition here, right? So you say Longview twice in a row. What I would do to this, so you don't have to say Longview twice, is I grew up in the city of Longview, comma, a city where the pine trees and flowers grow tall, yet does that make sense? So that way you're not doing that kind of clunky repetition. Just get rid of it and connect these sentences together. There's just a couple places here and there, and I didn't catch it the first time. I mean, I remember the content where you start talking about black on black crime and you give that statistic, but I was focused so much on you cleaning up like the background story of your parents, and then that really good narrative with your friend, because this is kind of like the turning point, that I didn't focus so much on here. But now that you've separated it, and I think that's the wise thing to do, I'm thinking that there might be a better position for this. So you start this idea of gang violence. I'm wondering if this paragraph about black on black crime should actually follow this one, and then you could follow that with how you have specifically responded to some of these issues, right? And so it's not necessarily that your friend is involved in black on black crime, but we could recognize that if he is engaging in illegal activity, unfortunately, violence often goes hand in hand with that, right? So I'm wondering if having this paragraph come up, right, and then this next paragraph following it would be a better position for that. Because I'm fine that you've brought in this statistic, but it's kind of it's kind of in an odd spot following this narrative. So I think maybe shifting that around would work a little bit. I think yank out in conclusion here, because that usually suggests that this is your final paragraph. But look, I mean, this thing goes on for a whole other page. So I think just go ahead and take it out, because this will be a fine way to begin this sentence as well. There is only one small thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is punctuating your direct quotations. Yeah, so remember, when you do direct quotations, you want to treat them like they're their own sentence. So make sure you just capitalize the first letter of that word. Oh, you got it down here, right? But just make sure you do it there. I think there was like one other place where it was as well. But again, a really good essay. And if you have not shared this with your mom and dad, if they ask the typical parent question, how are you doing in school? I think you might share this with them. I'm not telling you what to do by any means, but I know that, if my son wrote about me that way, I would be touched by it. So, just a thought. But anyway, excellent work on this, Courtland.